What's up, internet? Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm gonna do a little bit of complaining about my first world problems, and then talk to you about why you should update your GoPro software. And I'm not talking about the GoPro app on your phone or your desktop. I'm talking about the camera software version. So, first world problems. For a long time, I have been using my Hero 5 Session for the motocross track. I kind of refuse to use the Hero 8 Black that's on my street bike helmet right now. So pretty! Mainly because it does not have a replaceable lens cover, and it's very easy. I've broken 2 or 3 lenses over the years at the motocross track just from regular ride and not even crashing. At least that dude waved his bars up in the air. Without even crashing, just from the roost of bikes in front of me, racing, open practice sessions, doesn't really matter. If there's a lot of people on the track and you're passing people or getting past, you're going to eat some roost at some point. So the Hero 5 Session has a nice replaceable lens cover. You can get them pretty cheap off of eBay, Amazon, and I'll go ahead and get a couple of those, keep them stocked up. They're easy to replace. Takes like 5 or 10 minutes in the comfort of your own home, so you don't have to deal with the subscription service, which I completely agree. In some situations, that's a really nice service. I've seen most recently actually on Instagram, somebody posted photos. I think their camera must have fell off their bike. It was pretty much destroyed, and a few days later got a new camera. That's pretty awesome. It seems a bit excessive for replacing a lens cover. So I don't use my Hero 8 Black on the motocross track, which brings me to frustrating first world problems. I only have one external mic adapter, the famous $50 GoPro brick, and to make it even more fun, the Hero 8, the external adapter plugs in over here on the right side, but on the Hero 5 Session it plugs in on the left side. So not only do I have to take the camera off my windshield, mount it onto different mounts. Actually what I use is the same mounts for my Hero 8 Black. I just take the 8 Black off, I put the 5 on, I cut the zip tie that holds the external adapter on, flip it because it plugs onto the other side, put a new zip tie on, and then I have to make adjustments to the mounts because motocross helmet's a completely different helmet, and so it has to be mounted differently in a different position. So I do all of that. And oh, by the way, I most recently made a video where I took my street bike helmet out to the motocross track, did some laps with it, just to illustrate why motocross helmets have goggles. I'll put the link to that if you want to check that out in the top right hand corner. But back to my first world problems. It takes a bit. I can replace the lens cover on the 5 faster than I can do all that switching around, and so it's a pain. And then when I'm done with motocross vlogging and I go back to my street bike, I got to do it all over again. So it's an absolute pain, and I get it. It's like, again, that's why I call it first world problems. I'm not starving. I have plenty of food and water, and to be honest, I have too much food. Whoa, a little slow there. I have too much food and water. That's another first world problem. No discipline. So, at the end of the day, it's a nightmarish pain in the butt to do all of that so that I can vlog on the motocross track. And so I will admit, I am spoiled. Now that I've got the Hero 5 Session, now that I got the Hero Max on the windscreen, my Hero 5 Session has become a permanent motocross vlogging camera. I no longer use it for anything on the street, and this guy's about to hit this sign. I love it. Go ahead, just back up just a little bit more for the camera. Just a little bit more. Yeah, he's not going to do it. So now that the Hero 5 Session is my motocross only vlogging camera, I haven't been up here in a while, made some changes. I thought, let's get a second external adapter so that I don't have to swap that. And then I'm like, that's like the perfect world. I don't have to do any moving around of GoPro equipment. What are you doing? Come on, people. I'm like, man, that'd be great. I just get it, set it up once, and I just leave it there, and then when I'm ready to go to the motocross track and vlog, I just grab my camera, grab my helmet, everything's ready to go. How awesome would that be? So I was like, well, I can either get the external adapter, a second one, or I can get that new media mod. That thing looks kind of cool. So obviously, you can see it's on the camera, got the media mod. I was like, stoked, this is awesome. And it's pretty nice, I have to admit. And it really kind of cleans up the external connections into the camera. Right now, the only one I have is, well, I got two. I've got my battery pack and of course my microphone. But you know, it's nice. However, I quickly realized I no longer have access to the SD card. I can't pull the SD card out, and I prefer to pull the SD cards out to copy or move my my content onto my computer for editing. It's just you get a much faster transfer rate than like over USB. But I was like, you know what? I just solved a bunch of first world problems. Being stuck using the USB connection is not that big of a deal. So I'm like, okay, so it might take a little bit longer to copy, you know, potentially tens of gigs of data, but so what? I just solved a bunch of first world problems. So yeah, I get everything hooked up and I plug the computer, I plug the GoPro camera via USB into the computer, and it won't go into USB mode. I'm thinking, great, this is awesome. Now it's getting kind of late Friday night, and I had a planned group ride, and I was like, you know what, if worst case, at least for the next couple of days, if the worst case is I gotta pull the camera out of the media mod to get to the SD card, fine, whatever. I'll deal with whatever's wrong with the USB connection later. So later comes, and I'm thinking maybe it's a USB cable, maybe with the media mod I have to use a 3.0 high-speed port on the computer. I tried all of these things and all combinations of all the different cables I had available to me. Nothing seems to work. So then I'm like, man, maybe it's a setting on the camera. So I'm scouring through settings, and I'm not coming up with anything. So finally I thought, you know what? I got this camera before the media mods were even available to be purchased. Maybe there's a software update for my Hero 8 Black. And sure enough, I was many versions behind, and I went ahead and did the upgrade, and fancy that, it works. I can plug the camera in USB mode. I don't need to take it out of the media mod. And yeah, USB's potentially slower, but not a big deal. Not a big deal. I'm super pumped that I can leave my Hero 5 set up for motocross, and I can just grab it and go. I don't have to, the night before, go through that ridiculous process of, well, I already described the process to you. Moving on. What's up, dude? Thanks for waving. So that entire day group ride that I went on, I got so much good footage, no audio. It sounded like this. That's why you should keep your, again, in general, software versions updated on your cameras. I can actually personally attest to a scenario where that would be a bad thing. The Hero 5 session, GoPro released a firmware update for that camera a long time ago, and it actually broke. It actually broke some functionality, in particular with external mics. And essentially, it'd be very quite random. Bear with me. I've only been speaking English for, I don't know, 40 years or so. It would completely randomly just not work sometimes. Like, you would just turn the camera on and there'd be like no audio. And the fix was to downgrade the firmware and make sure that your camera doesn't automatically update when there are new ones available. So I've been running a really old firmware version on my Hero 5 and haven't had any mic issues with it for a very long time. But I think in general it's always a good idea to keep software versions up to date, and that was my experience. USB connection would not work when the camera was in the media mod, and all my audio from before just one day, but it was a lot of content. It was so anyway, yeah, that was kind of heartbreaking to hear the audio was all crap. So that's it. Keep your software updated, and then maybe your USB connections and audio will work better. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Keep the rubber side down, guys. Bumps. Oh. You should keep your hands on the handlebars too, so you can avoid those. I'm just full of tips today. Alright guys, if you haven't already, subscribe. I would appreciate it. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you don't like the video, hit the don't like button. If you leave a comment, it'll make me feel really special. Comments always make me feel special. See you guys in the next one. Bye.